three missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County.
And I got to play with your wand. It was great.
Definitely fun.
Keep going.
Hey guys, welcome back to Footage Foreplay. We're here with Evan. You got your
Bing Bong himself.
Yes. And we're joined today by Paul Brooks. Cup and Drinks.
What's up, guys?
What's your Instagram again? Because your Instagram, I kept calling you by that.
Yeah, Cup Drinks.
Cup Drinks. I love it. Yeah, director of Hunting For The Hag that we showed at the Unnamed Footage Festival 7, which was really, really fun. We're going to get into it. And Ghost Girls, which I can't wait to talk to you about because I just watched that and I have questions, comments, and we're going to get into it.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm excited that you're here. I've talked to you throughout the fest and I probably drove you crazy, signed all my little cards. I think I bought the last one.
You did. You got the last pack of trading cards.
Yes. Yes, it was a recalibration party. I can never say that word right. And we showed Hunting For The Hag right before the whole, what's the thing Madeline does? Yes. Like, you got
everyone's got the tape.
Tape.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, see, I saw that too. I think I got a poster as well. That movie's great, by the way. And I can't wait to talk to you about it. But those cards, I still have them. I have them in I need to get like some sleeves for them. But thank you for signing that. But yeah, let's get into it. So what got you into filming and found footage in general? Are you a found footage fan or yeah, what got you into it?
I'm a found footage fan, but I'm just sort of a movie fan in general, you know? Like, as you can see behind me, I got all sorts of movies, all sorts of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to make movies for probably about 20 years now, but Hunting For The Hag was my first feature film.
Oh.
You know, they're not easy to get off the ground. So I did a handful of shorts when I was in my 20s and, you know, worked my way up to the feature. And then we were eventually able, after the pandemic, to get enough money scraped together to do a feature. And that's kind of how it started.
Okay. Yes. And your ambiance is great, by the way. It's very sex dungeon-ish.
Yeah, I love the atmosphere. It reminds me of like a cool video store. Like you got, you know, the cool lighting and you get the video store set up back there.
That's what I'm going for. Actually, this shelf right here with all the VHS tapes is from a family video that went on a business here. Evan, I don't know if you have family videos in your neck of the woods or not.
We didn't. We had mostly as far as the chain stuff, it was mostly a movie gallery and Blockbuster.
Gotcha. Yeah, we had in the Midwest here, we have a chain called Family Video that went out. They all went out in 2020, and they were just giving away shelving units and stuff like that. So I went and picked that up so I could, because it is kind of like a video store. So if you guys want to come over sometime and peruse, please let me know.
Oh,
absolutely. That'd be awesome.
That sounds great.
It's crazy that they made it until 2020. That's like longer than I heard maybe any video store last, except for that last Blockbuster. And that's kind of just living on the name still at this point, you know?
Well, the weird thing about Family Video is that they were called Family Video, but they had an adult section. And I think they kind of were able to get by a little bit longer by selling their porno tapes in the back.
Really?
Sex sells.
How does that work? Well, because, you know, a lot of that stuff is accessible online now. So people are still...
I know, yeah, but you would see weirdos back there until the very end.
There are weirdos.
I'm sure there's connoisseurs who are like, they want the premium stuff, you know?
Yep, I got some of them here.
There was a dude literally at work outside my job. A woman ran into my job asking for security, off topic of all this. And the man was jacking off outside.
Oh my God.
Nasty. And then when the girl saw him and started screaming, I don't know, I didn't see it, but he ran to his car and drove off. But that was the issue today. It was like the excitement of the day, you know. Today was a long day. But that was the excitement of the day. So speaking of weirdos.
Wow.
Yeah, so gross. Have y'all
That's insane.
had that happen to y'all?
No, you'd get shot in Mississippi if you jacked off on the sidewalk, for sure.
Yeah.
It was gross. He must have been out of his mind, or maybe one of the homeless people. I don't know. But he had a car, so he couldn't have been that homeless. I don't know. Off topic. Sorry. Weirdos and porn. I was like, oh my God.
I love it. Some guy like, what the fuck? What a random.
Yes.
That's San Francisco stuff right there, I feel like.
Must be a full moon. I don't know. Yeah. So Hunting For The Hag was your first feature. So yeah, what made you want to do that? Like hybrid found footage type of aesthetic for your film. What made you want to do that? I'm excited that you did that, by the way.
I appreciate that. And you guys were so gracious to me and so nice to me and Sierra when we were at the festival. We appreciate that so much. Mm-hmm. And we had such a good time that night. The movie played when it was like the sort of like everybody getting drunk night.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was great. But I'm sure you've heard this before. We decided to do a found footage movie because it sort of allows you to make some more mistakes.
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about certain things quite as much. But in a lot of ways, once we started shooting it, we realized that we had to plan things out more in a certain way than you do with regular movies, like a traditional narrative movie. And at some point, we were thinking about having part of the movie be more of a traditional narrative, do the hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really know much about at the time. I didn't really realize. I feel like that idea has kind of picked up more steam over the last handful of years.
Yeah.
But I was not aware of it when we were shooting it. And so I'm like, do we do this? Do we not do it? But anytime I asked, as we were sort of writing the film, anytime I asked somebody about it, like, should we try to do this weird thing where we drop the found footage thing?
Yeah.
Everyone said, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. Go for it, So we did it. And it was nice when we were shooting because then all of a sudden when we started doing that, it was a totally different vibe and kind of more comfortable in a way because I'm more used to shooting in that style,
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'll say that has kind of thrown me for a loop, showing the film at UF and getting reviews online and things like that, there are some found footage diehards who really did not like that choice.
Got it. Yeah.
And we'll try not to get too, I don't know how spoilery you guys usually you get on the show, but there were some people who did not, who thought that it was kind of a cop out. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, you see that a lot, especially when it breaks the format and stuff like that. A lot of found footage connoisseurs, they're like, oh man, like it just takes them out. Like you just like, oh nope, I'm done. That type of thing. So I get that, and you can make a case either way. But the way I was just having so much fun with the film, I loved Sierra, Cece, Candy. She was great. She's
Cece on Ghost Girls.
Yes, I'm mixing them up.
Well, you just watched it.
I did, yeah. So I was like, oh yeah. Anyways,
we watch a ton of those too, of found footage movies with doing the up stuff, and I'll say like the way you did the transition to non-found footage is so much more acceptable than the way a lot of movies do it, because it felt like you did it, I don't know, in a more organic way than just randomly cutting back and forth, like with no context given to it, or you tried to contextualize it within the story, or within the events of the film.
That was the whole point, really. It's like you get to a certain point in a found footage movie. I'm sure you guys have seen this happen all the time, where you're like, why are you still holding the camera? Put it down, run for your life, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's why we did it. We said, well, what if we just had, the camera smash and it's not there anymore. And all of a sudden it switches to this totally different thing. And it doesn't really bother me all that much that it didn't work for some people.
Sure.
Because I know that there's some people where that's their favorite part of the movie, myself included. I actually, if I'm watching a movie like when I was at UF, that's my favorite part of the film. So, different things work for different people.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Did you shoot, because me and Terrell watched Ghost Girl, did you shoot that before Hunting for the Hag, or was it after? And did one inform the other? I feel like with the format wise, maybe there was a little bit of, crossover.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that I did with Sierra. She's one of our Ghost Girls. And we shot that. We shot the pilot actually in 2019 before the pandemic. And that was actually when I was still living in LA. We shot at this place called the Glen Tavern Inn, which is sort of like a famous Southern California haunted
Santa
hotel.
Paula.
Great place to go stay if you guys are ever out in that area. And And it was really fun to do. And we were hoping to shoot that episode and sort of pitch it around. And then, the pandemic happened and that kind of threw everything for a loop. Right. So we put the first episode up on Tubi. That's how Terrell just watched it. And I appreciate you watching it, Terrell. But if anybody else wants to check out the pilot episode, it's available for free on Tubi. And we shot 2 new episodes last year, and I'm putting kind of the finishing touches on them right now. So we'll have 3 episodes if anybody wants to kind of do a binge watch.
Oh, nice. And those are going to be available on Tubi as well? Or is those going to be like on Prime? Or where are those going to be?
We're trying to figure that out. I think they'll probably be on Tubi, but we're also, we're kind of looking for a home for it, like a streaming service or a TV network or something like that, so that we can do more episodes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Get linked up with like a PBS or a Discovery type of entity.
That'd be wild if it was on PBS.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, definitely. That's huge.
No, that'd be awesome.
With the Ghost Girls.
I was thinking maybe it's, since it's an all-female ghost hunting show, I thought maybe like Oxygen or Lifetime might be interested. So if anybody's watching from either of those channels, hit us up.
Yeah, and I like that all 4 girls have different characteristics about them, or, at the beginning they did a good job of introducing them all. Like, you started off with, I think her name was it Sarah? Who was the main one? Was it Rachel? Sarah?
Ashley, right?
Ashley, there you go.
Ashley's sort of our lead investigator,
Yep, she grew up just wanting to hunt down ghosts. I think she watched the ghost hunting show all her life. And
she was on Ghost Hunters.
She was on there, yeah. And then now she's like the leader of them. They brought the girls together and they all explain their, what they found or growing up, what paranormal, experiences they had. So Cece, she grew up, she used to see little figures and things like that. And as she got older, she hadn't seen it anymore. Then you had one girl who just don't believe it. She's just finding some reason for everything. I'm like, girl, the bathtub scene. Oh my God. I don't want to spoil too much, but that one. And then you had the other girl, similar. She's she's into it. She wants to figure out if stuff is real or not. But I like how each of them have different outlooks and they all come together and then they're trying to make each other believers or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. It's great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's exactly what we're going for. And we have a lot of fun making it. And yeah, Sarah being our skeptic, of course, the weird shit is going to happen to her.
Yeah. Yep.
And when we started filming the show, I was very adamant with everybody that if we're going to do this, I wanted to do it for real. We didn't want to fake anything. We didn't want to embellish anything. So, no spoilers, but anything that you do see on the show is real. It's not somebody pulling the strings or anything like that.
I was going to ask you, is there any more things that we didn't see that might have happened to the girls as they were at because that place looked haunted up there. I don't know, to me. Little rooms like that. Was it the 3rd floor? I think that was the haunted. I don't want to spoil too much, but...
No, that's fine. Yeah, we were on the 3rd floor of the Glen Tavern Inn. Yep. And it's spooky up there. As someone myself, I'm also a skeptic.
Yeah.
I haven't really had, but I'll tell you the one thing that happened to me not when we were shooting, but I made the mistake of not getting enough outdoor establishing shots when we were shooting.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back up there and get some pickup shots just on my own.
Yeah.
And when I went up there to do that, it just so happened that I was the only person staying on the 3rd floor that night.
Ooh.
We spent the night.
Oh my God.
And
ooh.
Yeah, I was creeped out. I'm not going to lie.
I would have been. Oh my God. Because I believe, and we're going to get into that because I want to play a little game with y'all. We're going to talk about some experiences.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'll let you finish.
Well, I was up there and I'm getting my pickup shots, just shots of doors and shots of the hallway and things like that. And I'm walking down the hallway to go somewhere else. And all of a sudden I got this very powerful blast of perfume in my face.
Ooh.
And there was nobody else up there all night. And,
wow.
this is a place that was supposedly back in the day, sort of a place where there was a lot of prostitutes and gambling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why would I get a blast of perfume all of a sudden? So I don't know if that, not really paranormal necessarily, but it definitely freaked me out a little bit.
Oof, that'll mess me up because I believe in that kind of stuff and weird stuff happening. And I believe that. That's why, like, a lot of the supernatural horror kind of stuff that kind of like creeps me out because I don't get scared. I'm desensitized to all this. I watch so much horror, but the supernatural stuff and that weird, creepy stuff that does get to me. That's why this ghost hunting thing was interesting. So this was all real. So these girls, were they all like friends? Did you find these? Were these friends of yours that you brought together? How did you cast this group of girls?
I knew Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've known each other for like 10 years, and I know that she's always been sort of interested in the paranormal and had experiences as a child and stuff like that. So we had talked about her being on the show. Carly was one of my friends as well, and I asked her if she wanted to be part of it. Sarah, I didn't know nearly as much, but Sarah is in a lot of movies, and she's someone who is also interested and sort of like the three girls were not very experienced in terms of ghost hunting. And so we brought in Ashley from Ghost Hunters to sort of like guide them through the process a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I had found her through a mutual friend by the name of Susan Slaughter, who was on Ghost Hunters and is also on she's on a show called Paranormal Caught on Camera, if you've ever seen that. She's on that all the time.
I don't think I've seen it.
And she had recommended Ashley to me, and so me and Ashley met up and started talking. So the whole process was pretty organic, and I think all the girls, they have a nice dynamic together. I think it works pretty well.
Nice.
It does. Their personalities blend well.
Yeah, they do. Yep. And I like that they're all different. And I'm excited for more episodes because once it ended, I was like, yeah, I would watch like a season of this. And that was one of my questions to you if you're going to bring this back. Because I did see like on your Instagram or the page Instagram, and it said, oh, new episodes coming soon. And I was like, oh, this is 2023. So was this in the works for a while now? You did say you're just doing the finishing touches, right?
Yeah, so we made the announcement, and I probably shouldn't have done that because stuff always ends up taking longer than you want it to.
Absolutely.
We shot in 2023 is what ended up happening. We shot 2 new episodes in September of 2023 in LA, and I'm putting the finishing touches on everything now. So we wanted to shoot earlier in 2023, and you know how it goes. It just everyone's schedules and everything, and like trying to find locations to do ghost hunts is not particularly easy.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Was like the production process of how do you like, do you just call these people and be like, can we come into your building? And because you kind of have to, right? Unless you know them.
Yeah. It was a lot of sort of cold calling some people and trying to connect with more paranormal people in the area who might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's actually what ended up happening. We have a guest on one of our upcoming episodes. Her name is Tammy Chavez, and she told us about one of the locations that we investigate in episode 2. Okay. So yeah, just figuring all that, you're sort of stumbling around a little bit it's not like making a movie where you write a script and you find a location and you go. It's reality TV, and it works a little bit differently.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of all this ghost hunting and stuff, you must be kind of, like you said, you're a skeptic, but have you ever encountered, because we're all going to talk about one, because I'm sure Evan has, but have you ever encountered like a ghost or a supernatural or some paranormal activity of some sort?
I never have. The only thing that's really happened to me was that experience that I mentioned in the hallway at the Glen Tavern Inn. And I want to, I'm a skeptic, but I'm open, like I understand that there's plenty of stuff out there that we don't know anything about, and am totally open to the idea of something happening. Yeah. And I've been waiting for it, I'm like, because I'm on set when we're shooting. Yeah. But usually when something happens, I'm not in the room. It's almost like ghosts don't want to be around me.
Yeah, they're like, not Paul. Or maybe because you want it to happen so bad. Like, I want to, because, I don't believe it. They're like, we ain't fucking with him.
Right.
It's going to be when you least expect it.
Yeah, the energy's
kind of
not right.
By yourself in that 3rd floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Sarah, I need to pop into a jacuzzi at some point, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, that part. What about you, Evan?
Well, I actually have a very involved story. I'm not going to tell the story though, because the story is going to be included in the feature film that I'm shooting in September. So I don't want to ruin it.
You're telling us to stay tuned.
It's part of the movie. So I want that fully realized version of the retelling to be the version that people hear, and not. I will say the story does exist on my Twitter in a thread format from years ago. If somebody feels like doing the work of digging that up, go for it. I'm not linking it. So
no. I'm not scrolling to go into
if you
Twitter.
care enough, go dig it up. But it does. The story does exist in a Twitter thread, but that's the only place I think I've ever told it like publicly. So
I'm trying to think back if I maybe had read that, because the way that I met you, Evan, was through Twitter.
Oh,
maybe. Yeah,
so
maybe.
I'm not sure.
Well, you might have read
it. It was a reply. Somebody had put out a tweet one time about, do you have experiences with the paranormal? And I was like, I never tell anybody this. So I'm like, why not? Why not just reply to this? And I've replied. It was probably 20, 25 tweets long, because I was
you wrote a book
fighting the character in it, but I told the whole story via that format, but I'm going to tell it properly in my upcking feature film.
Got you. Oh, that's exciting. Well, damn.
So stay tuned for my paranormal story. Yeah. But I do have it, and it's spooky.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear it, see it, or whatever that looks like. Maybe I'll look up Twitter if I'm bored. But for me, okay, so the reason I asked, because I had a crazy story, and I still to this day, like, I get goosebumps when I think about it. But so me and my friends were all hanging out, and we're like, we should try the Ouija board. See, my friend, his girlfriend was moving out of this house. It had two stories, and we were like 18, 19, I will say around the age, and we were all just hanging out, drinking, and we said, let's just make our own Ouija board. So we got some paper, we wrote A, B, C, D, all the letters, hello, goodbye, and all that. So then we put it all around. We put a shot glass there, and okay. So long story short, the shit worked because we were all okay. When I did it by myself, it moved. Then we did it all three of us. Because first we did all three of us, and I was like, okay, they're just fucking with me because we're hanging out, having fun. They're trying to scare my ass. Mind you, the whole upstairs is like empty. There's like nothing there. So I was like, okay, everything's moved out up there. So basically we're doing it, and it didn't like me, by the way, because I think they asked, oh, do you like Terrell? And they all said no. Apparently a woman and her kid died there before. And I Googled it, that it was true. I looked up the address, and a woman and a kid did die there like many, many years ago. But basically they were the ones that were in contact with us. But what scared me was we heard a thump upstairs and all the lights flickered. And I was so scared, you guys. So I ran out the door. I didn't say bye to that Ouija board, so I'm scared because I read things like, if you don't say goodbye, that door is open. So that thing might be here in this house. I don't know. But ever since then, every time I think about that, I'm like, fuck. Like, am I haunted?
Wow.
That was one scary ass day. I don't know. Ugh, just think about it.
Why do you think the lights were flickering?
I don't know. I asked, I was like, do y'all pay your PG&E bill? I asked all these questions. And they were moving out, everything was fine, but there was a thump upstairs. I didn't understand that either. And then my friends, they didn't care. They were I was scared. They were just like, whoa, this is weird. It has to be like, they were Sarah basically. So she went upstairs trying to like jump up and down in that room where we heard the thump, and it didn't make that thump. So I was so confused. Wow. We all heard it. They even, if you ask them, Carlos and Nicole, if y'all listening, they both were like, yeah, we all heard it. We all experienced this. And I don't know. I never went back.
Wow. Well, if we do new episodes of Ghost Girls at some point, we got to have both of you guys on.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be great.
I'm super down.
That'll be a show.
You do it? You wouldn't be too freaked out by that?
Who, me?
Oh, I'd be so into it.
I'd be into it.
Okay, Evan's into it. Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
All right.
I'd be down.
I've always been very interested in that kind of stuff. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm super into it. I will tell... Mm-hmm. I know, Terrell, you're a fan of extraterrestrials. So,
God.
I do have a story. I was driving this one. I had considered putting this in the movie, but I just don't think it's going to be super relevant to everything else that the movie's focused on. So I'll tell it here. And it's kind of a teaser of weird stuff that's happened. It's in the same area.
Okay.
I was driving. I lived in Florida at the time, and I was driving from my grandparents' house in Barstow, Florida, which is super rural, middle of nowhere farm community. And I was driving towards Pensacola, Florida, because I was going down to meet my friend at the beach for the night. We were going to hang out and go drink and stuff. And there's a highway between, I believe it's Highway 87, if I'm not mistaken, going between, might be 84, I can't remember. But it's going between Barstow and you go through a place called Milton, Florida first. Mm-hmm. And so you're driving through this very like rural area, and there's a point where the trees become really close to the road for a little while. And I'm driving along. It's late one night. I got done with my work and was finishing up stuff at the house. So it was like way after dark. It was 9 or 10 p.m. when I was driving. So that road doesn't get a ton of traffic, especially late at night. And so it's, you know, you don't see a lot of cars. And so it had been a while since I'd seen another vehicle or passed one. And I'm driving along, just, you know, I think I had a cigarette lit, and I just noticed out the corner of my eye when I was like ashing my cigarette, there's like lights above the trees that are right next to the road. There's different colored lights like flashing, but it's going parallel with my car. Like the lights are keeping up with the car, and the lights were so low to the tops of the trees that it was like, I don't feel like it would have been safe for a human to fly an aircraft like that close to those. They're daredevils if they were, because it was I mean, if they so much as sneeze, they're dead. You know, like it's, we were going fast enough that if they hit the top of one of those trees, they would have died.
Yeah.
And it stayed so perfectly parallel with the car for so long, and I was just kind of in shock and awe. I don't really know how long it actually lasted. It may not have been that long at all, but it felt like forever that I was watching these lights stay parallel with my car. Long enough that I picked up my cell phone and I call my uncle while I'm looking at it, and I tell him what I'm seeing. And they're still there. I'm still watching them at this point, driving down the road.
Yeah.
And I'm on I tell him, all right, let me get off the phone, and I throw my cigarette out, and I'm gonna try to get a video of it. And I'm like going up a hill, and a car comes cresting over the top. And I turn to look at the headlights, and when I turn back, the lights are gone.
So what do you think that was?
I don't know. And I like to approach these things with a little bit of, I'm not instantly like, oh, it was an unexplainable thing. You know, I try to approach it with like a little, you know, ration and logic. And there was an Air Force base probably 10 miles from where I was at, 15 miles. So it's very like reasonable to think that it could have been some kind of weird aircraft they were flying. But it just seems so strange the way it all happened, and how low they were flying and how many different lights were on it. Because like I've seen a lot of aircrafts and stuff, and it's usually red, white. It's like a few colors. There's not, you know, and this was blue, green. This was a whole like spectrum of colors. It was.
Were you high?
It was weird. Yeah. No, I was not. I was not high. I was gonna stop and get more weed on the way to the peak. So I was not. I didn't even have any weed at the time.
How many about how many lights would you say it was?
It felt like a lot, because they were blinking really fast, and it felt like they were all across whatever the shape of this. I couldn't really tell the shape. That's the thing I couldn't kind of determine from my angle and the lighting of everything. It was too dark for me to really tell what the shape of the craft or whatever it was. But it felt like the lights were in a row, like they were straight across the way I was seeing them, but they were flickering at a really inconsistent, like it was really rapid, but there was no like pattern to it, you know?
Wow.
Which is another weird thing, because most aircraft lights, it's a repeating like pattern. You see the same blinking pattern over and over, but this was not. It was just felt totally random, and it made me feel really weird while I was watching it and uncomfortable. And
you were by yourself?
Yeah, I was driving in. I was in a 94 Honda Accord with like a shitty back window that wouldn't even let up all the way.
Oh my god.
So they could have definitely took my ass if they wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I like to tell myself it was some kind of weird aircraft, but I really also question that in a lot of ways. So I don't really know what it was, but it was weird, and I can't explain it. Yeah,
I was going to say maybe it's Mothman, but it sounds like it's way too many. You saw way too many lights, you know, like I thought maybe it was a pair of eyes following you, but that doesn't quite sound right.
Mothman. Oof.
Yeah, no, this definitely felt like, and the weird thing is I couldn't hear it, and it looked close enough that I should have been able to hear it.
Yeah.
Because it looked like the lights were right there over the top of the trees next to the road. It felt like it was so close to my vehicle, so I should have been able to hear something.
And see, I've heard very similar Mothman stories where people will say that it follows cars like that, like, you know, parallel to cars on the road.
Oh, really?
You can see its eyes. So that's where I thought it was going, but sounds like, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mystery to this day.
It's a mystery.
Yeah. Okay. I have another question before we get off of Ghost Girls a little bit, or a little comment.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I missed something, but I noticed every time they were like in a room or so, they asked a lot like, "Hey, are you a man? Are you a woman?" Why were they asking that? I just wanted to know. Like, is it like more aggressive of a ghost if it was like a man, demon, whatever it was, or what? Because I was just wondering. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that in like a ghost discovery thing, or maybe I haven't watched enough.
No, I think our approach is a little bit different from some of the more male dominated shows where the ladies like to have a little bit of a softer touch.
Yeah.
And especially if there's any female spirits who might be there who might be more comfortable talking to women rather than men being in there. They want to,
Well, it probably shifts the dynamic too, and probably also allows you a bit of leverage in asking further questions if you know more about what you're speaking to.
Yeah,
because
they did a good job of asking like all those different questions to try to get them to like talk and feel comfortable to do so. Because a lot of them, well, I don't want to spoil too much. They were just on mute, but stuff does happen. So it's interesting. That's all.
And I think that also with that particular location, the Glen Tavern Inn, like I said, there were reports of it being kind of a saloon and a brothel back in the day. So if there were sort of like cowboys and prostitutes or women in there, doing different things. And so I think the girls were trying to differentiate who might be, if there was any spirits there, who it might be. And then also we got told that as it got later into the night, sometimes the spirits would like to get playful, and that a lot of the spirits who were in there were sort of like not necessarily anything malevolent, but were just sort of like hanging out, still trying to have a good time. And again, without spoiling anything, you do kind of see a little bit of that.
Little horny ghosts.
You can feel that like feminine touch in the way that they speak to the. I don't know. A lot of these ghost shows, the way that they tell the ghost to do things, it feels like a command. Versus the girls I noticed are saying, "Can you?" and they're asking.
Yeah, they did. They asked.
It was way less assertive, and I don't know. It brought a different energy to it. I feel like then.
Well, I'll tell you just as a little preview of one of the upcoming episodes. We investigate an abandoned ghost town that used to be the first oil well in California, and it's much more of a male presence, and so the ladies actually get a lot more aggressive with some of their questioning. So a lot of it just comes down to sort of like the location that you're at, in any given episode, and sort of like what the vibe is in that place.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes total sense. And you guys were both talking about that. You keep teasing that kind of final scene in Ghost Girls, and I won't spoil it either, since we've avoided it up until this point. But it's the way that you approach that is very much something that you could only do with this show, with Ghost Girls. I feel like, and it's kind of an unconventional, for lack of a better word, investigation tactic for a ghost show. Is there more of that, would you say, in the further shows, of the kind of, let's take a totally unconventional and weird approach to doing this thing and switch it up?
Yeah, we do the best we can to try a bunch of different stuff, try different equipment, try different investigation techniques. We try some of the same stuff because we feel like if something is working well for us, we want to do more of that. So we have a 360 camera experiment that we do in one of the new episodes to sort of like be able to capture more stuff. Sierra is using the spirit box a lot more in the new episodes because we thought that worked pretty well in episode 1.
It does.
And she just sort of has a weird connection with that particular device, and nobody's quite sure why, but we do more of that in the new episodes. So it's kind of a mixture of some new stuff and some reliable stuff that we go back to as well.
I appreciate with the spirit box that you guys used what they refer to it in this doc that I watched, and I pulled the idea from the Estes method of where you have the headphones and somebody's on the box, and it kind of creates that divide that I feel like makes it, I don't know, a much better and more reliable kind of experiment, kind of investigation method.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's another teaser for the feature. That's something we're doing in that faux doc is
Oh, cool. Nice.
spirit box with the Estes method.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of it. And I think that it makes for just a cleaner, it's like more, if you don't have the headphones, it's kind of difficult to listen to sometimes. It can get old pretty fast.
Right.
And so I feel like just for television, it's kind of a cleaner way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's honestly a way more engaging and tension building
Mm-hmm.
way of watching it back too, versus just, the direct question response way of doing it.
I appreciate you guys watching the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I was excited, and I'm even more excited to hear that there's more to come. And so I just want to get back a little bit to Hunting for the Hag. That's streaming now, right? Because right after the fest, I think it went live right after that night that we all watched it, right? Was it like the next day or a couple days after the fest ended?
Yeah.
Is it like on Amazon? Is it on Tubi? I think it's on Tubi too, right?
It is on Prime Video. It's not on Tubi yet.
Okay.
It will be later this year.
Okay.
But right now it's on Prime Video. It's on Fandango at Home, which used to be Vudu.
Yeah.
And if you have cable, you can find it on different cable platforms. Like if you have whatever your local cable provider is, Xfinity or Spectrum or whatever the case,
Yeah.
you can search for it on there, and it should pop up. It just kind of depends on who your provider is. But yeah, down the road, we'll have it for free on Tubi and, like Plex and different things like that.
Well, my question to you is that coming on Blu-ray? Because me and my Blu-ray is like my physical media or DVD. Are you guys talking about or thinking about doing physical media for this release?
So the reason that we came out to UF, because we got very graciously invited out to San Francisco to do the festival.
I'm glad you came.
And yeah, we had such a great, me and Sierra had such a great time out there. But
we hope you'll come back.
Absolutely.
Movie or no movie.
Yeah, we've already been talking about it. But the main sort of goal that we had when we were out there was to find someone to partner with for a Blu-ray.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because again, I'm a physical media nut, and I want my own movie, as everyone else probably does, to be out there. And so, gosh, I don't know how much I can say.
Okay.
I will tell you this. There is a Blu-ray coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're really excited. We met somebody at UF that we're going to be partnering with.
Oh, epic.
You probably know who it is, but we haven't signed anything yet, so I don't want to say anything and jinx it.
Okay.
I have an idea, but
stay tuned because we're working on it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Cool.
I'm gonna have to get that signed by all y'all.
Yeah.
That was great. I like this movie because I like movies like when you get a group of friends and they're just going to go hunt something down, or they're going to go get into some mischief. So you have a group of girls who are going to go hunt the hag, hence the title. And they all have, like the Ghost Girls, they all have different personalities. My favorite was Candy. She got her 6-pack. That was all for her. She was ready to party, ready to turn up. And I loved everything about it. I kept telling her, she was great. Even in person, she seemed like she had that vibe too. So she was perfect for that role. Sierra's awesome, by the way. And I don't know, this movie had a bunch of fun moments. It was definitely kind of like a party movie. Had a couple of moments that made me jump. Like, there's I don't want to spoil too much, but the part where I don't want to spoil it, but popped out. I reviewed it on Overlook. But I don't know. I like this a lot. Do you want to talk about your character? Because you play Danny, and you're completely different than what we've seen right here. Talk about Danny. What Danny? How'd you come into that?
I got a small role. Well, first of all, thank you, Terrell, for reviewing the film on the channel. I'm a huge Blu-ray Tuesday fan, by the way. I watch every week.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I'm sorry that we pissed you off a little bit by when you did the trading cards. You said they're spoiling their own movie. What are they doing?
Oh,
well,
that's true. At least I bought the last pack. They're not even gonna see it.
I think you missed at the front of the pack. We have a little thing that says "Warning: There's big time spoilers ahead," and I think you missed that.
Oh, that's hella
that's
funny. Okay.
So I do have a character in the film, and we had the pre-production process for Hunting for the Hag was really fast. We wrote it quickly, and we kind of cast the whole thing quickly, and everything moves very fast. And so we were trying to cast it, and we had someone in mind for this character of Danny, and we kind of told him what the character was, and he said, I just don't want to do something like that, which is understandable because he's kind of he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he is.
The character, not the guy who I was talking to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we got it.
So, we were kind of getting down to the deadline, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it because I have a little bit, I'm not an actor by any means, but I've been in a few things, and I know that in a pinch, I can get by. And so I decided, you know what, we'll save a couple bucks. We won't have to pay anybody to be this character. I'll just do it myself. The problem, Terrell, is that I completely forgot to tell Sierra that I was planning on playing the character. And of course, Sierra's writing all these terrible scenes with herself and Danny's character.
Yes.
And I eventually, it came out, and she's like, oh no, this is going to be difficult. So it was not easy shooting some of those scenes. We won't spoil too much, but it was rough. But we had, obviously we have a great relationship, and she was very adamant about sort of getting that part of the movie exactly how she wanted, because she wrote all that part of the movie right there. She wrote all that.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of took her lead on that almost, like making sure that we did a lot of takes, because it's like it was a really long take.
Yeah.
So and it was the last thing actually that we shot. So we wanted to make sure that we got it right. Yeah. And so I was just kind of taking her lead on that and making sure that she was comfortable with it and everything.
Yeah.
You said you and Sierra had known each other for like 10 years. How did the two of you meet? Like, what was the origin of your relationship?
We have a very sort of classic Hollywood story where both of us had just moved to LA. She's from San Diego. I'm from Central Illinois, where I am right now. I moved back, but she's still out. She's still out in Hollywood. But we met in Hollywood at the Egyptian Theater, which is like classic Hollywood, right? It's like where the first movie premiere ever was held. And it was just a very weird thing that doesn't happen very often, where she saw me and I saw her, and we were just sort of like awkwardly standing there and didn't have anyone else to talk to because we just moved to town.
Right.
Yeah. And we just started talking, and just kind of developed a friendship, and kind of said, like, if you ever want to get together and, write something and see if we want to collab on something, let me know. And started doing that, and one thing led to another, and she's in Ghost Girl, she was in Hunting for the Hag. We're working on something else right now, so it's really turned into a pretty great partnership. So
you got something else in the works. Can you talk a little bit about...
We got something else. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what's coming next besides Ghost Girls episodes and all that good stuff?
Give us a Footage Foreplay scoop.
Well, you know what? Here's the funny thing about it. I'll tell you, I can't say much because it's really in the baby, stages of like trying to figure out the story and trying to figure out the script and everything. But this time around, we're doing a lot less footage and way more foreplay. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I love that. Look at that. He threw the name in there and everything.
That was brilliant wordplay there, Paul.
I like that.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. I'm like, you know what? That's the name of the show. Maybe I should say something about it.
Look, you're good. Look at you.
Well, with us being UF team members, we got to ask: is it in-world camera? Is it going to be UF eligible?
It's definitely not going to be UF eligible. No, it's a whole different thing.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: you make a movie and you spend so much time on something, and there's a large part of you that when we're kind of towards the end of Hunting for the Hag now, after we get the Blu-ray out, we're going to move on to this other project.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of you just wants to do something totally different,
Sure.
And so I think we're going to go in this totally different direction and do this other project that we're really excited about. And then maybe after that, we'll see if we can come back to UF with something. I would love to, obviously.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ideas. There's no doubt about that. It's just always trying to figure out the financing situation is always the issue.
Well, I personally would love to see you pop up in a fellow Illinois resident, David Dawson. I'd love to see you pop up in one of his movies.
Oh, that would
you
be
know
cool.
what? Me and David been talking about some stuff. This interview is going so much more smoothly than his. That thing was chaos.
Oh, did you hear? It was chaotic. Thank you. And then
in a good way.
That was just as bad.
In a good way. I'm like, there's Mass and there's Fago and it's a mess. It's a hot mess.
It was fun though. It was all good times.
No, that's like I met so many people at Unnamed Footage and made so many friends. Like we rode up with Robbie Banfitch. We picked him up in LA and drove all the way up with him, me and Sierra, and got to know him and got to know David a little bit, like talking to him about stuff. We were outside a lot, Evan, just sort of like shooting the shit and talking about projects and whatnot.
I feel like I spent half the festival on the sidewalk smoking cigarettes with people.
No, I believe it. You be smoking in packs.
And that's kind of, what it's all about for me is going out there and just being able to like check out other people's work and meet new people that you can be friends with and potentially collaborate. So we've been talking about stuff. Who knows if anything will happen, but it's fun to just sort of meet people and pick their brain about stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That's my favorite part by far of not only but of every film festival I've ever went to.
Oh yeah,
with my own movie or just attended as a badge holder. Like it's always the best part to me is just the interacting with other people and with other creatives and kind of picking their brain and just talking.
And
about
you
stuff.
Guys make it so much fun. Cool. I wish that Russell was here actually, because like as soon as I got to the festival, he like gave me a big hug and like you guys just make everybody feel so welcome there, and you can tell there's so much TLC that you put into running that and putting it together. So I know that all the other filmmakers really appreciate it, and you can, there's just the atmosphere there is really great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Was there something you wanted to show him? Because you said you left to go grab something or mention to him.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. It's sitting right here.
He'll watch this or hear this or what?
Yeah.
What was that?
So you said that at some point Russell was in Barstow.
Yes, he just got back.
Okay, well, I have this movie that he needs to check out called Leaving Barstow. It's a really great movie.
Okay.
And I was going to say that this is what he needs to do. He needs to be leaving Barstow, but apparently he already did.
Yeah, he did. He just got back.
So we're good. But Russell, if you're watching, check out Leaving Barstow. I actually really like Barstow. I'm like as someone who's from the Midwest, I love the desert and I love weird little towns in California, like it's a totally different vibe from what I'm used to out here. So being in little towns like that is a fun experience for me.
Okay.
I feel that because it's different even than like I'm in a little town here in the South, but a little town in the South is so different than a little town in the desert of California. You know, like it's That's just so dramatically different.
I can't do it.
No, Barstow looks wild. Like I've seen pictures of the highway outside of it and stuff, and it's got this really like hellish kind of, just great atmospire to it. So I can only imagine that the movie that they just shot there has such a vibe.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that movie because I have a collection of like desert movies behind me. I'm always interested if something's shot out in the desert, I'm always interested in it.
You a Truth or Consequences New Mexico fan?
Absolutely. It's back there somewhere.
Well, let's talk about your collection because I'm a huge collector too. So do you collect like certain kinds of movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS, Laserdisc, everything, or what's your collection looking like back there? Because I see a lot of stuff.
It's pretty much everything. Like back here, I just bought this new shelving unit right here, and like all this right here is Criterion collection.
Oh.
I have a lot of Arrow and like Scream Factory.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Everything, like this is VHS over here. This is all horror VHS.
Okay.
Behind that is a bunch of erotic thrillers. I got Laserdisc. I got everything under the sun. I've been collecting for years, and I got way too much. I need to slow down.
I have way too. I have almost 6,000 Blu-rays. That doesn't count my DVDs and everything else.
Whoa.
I've been collecting Blu-rays since 2008, but DVDs way before that. And when I was a kid, my dad used to buy VHSs all the time, so I kind of inherited all that too. So like I have a lot. A lot of it's at my mom's, but I've been collecting for so long. I just love physical media, actually having the case, having bonus features, being able to rewatch stuff without them taking shit off. Because like on the streaming stuff, like they'll take out music or they'll take out scenes because it's problematic, things like that. So having the actual physical copy for me, I don't know, it's everything. So
yeah, absolutely. And really what initially got me into the idea of making movies was really when DVDs started coming out and bonus features, you could watch sort of, BTS on how movies were made. That's what really sparked my interest in the process. And so obviously you can't get that on Netflix or whatever. You buy physical media if you want to peek behind the curtain.
Like right before DVD came out, on like you'd buy a VHS for a movie and they would have a commercial for DVD on it, and it would be like it would be a super cut of like just giant set pieces and explosions. It'd be like DVD. It was like that guy with the fucking trailer voice and stuff. And they were just really selling the format. Like that's so funny to think back on, that they were like selling DVD as a thing, and now it's a thing we've not moved on from, but do less of,
If I put on a DVD, like if I put on Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, and that sort of stuff comes up before the movie plays, I let it play. I want to watch all that too.
That's nostalgic.
Absolutely.
You guys remember like those discs? What is those? They look like DVDs, but they're red. What are those? HD something?
HD DVD.
Yeah, you
HD
remember those?
DVD.
They tried to make that happen and it didn't happen.
It was like it was that versus Blu-ray for a little bit.
Yep.
And from what I know, I feel like the deciding factor in that war was the porn industry chose Blu-ray.
Oh.
And just like your back store kept that back room kept that store alive for so many years. That's what won Blu-ray that battle, was
porn?
The adult entertainment industry chose to use Blu-ray as their primary HD format, and so that sealed the deal.
Which is weird, because I feel like there's not too many people who have a bunch of porn on Blu-ray.
Buying Blu-ray porn,
surprisingly. But you did say you had a section for erotic thrillers. Is that one of your favorite subgenres of film, or do you have a favorite?
Absolutely.
What's some favorites? Erotic thrillers. This is for
oh my gosh. Well,
this man might be making an erotic thriller. He just said there's way more foreplay than there is footage in this next movie. So
he did.
Who knows?
Evan, you're too smart. You're picking up what I'm throwing down. I grew up in the 90s, sort of like going over to somebody's house and putting on Skinamax late at night. Yeah. So anything with Shannon Tweed, anything with Julie Strain, I got plenty of them back here. That was obviously back then when all that was big. So I have a lot back there.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you guys want to come over and we'll pop a few on sometime.
Yeah. I would love to come and watch softcore porn with you, Paul. Absolutely.
In that red
That's
room,
not uncomfortable at all. That's not weird at all. Actually, I don't know if you can see it back here or not, but I won. So Severin Films comes to my local theater every now and then to like do screenings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I won a box set of the entire Black Emanuel series, which they put out recently.
Oh, okay.
So I got to start going through some of those as well.
And watching all those. Okay. Severin's great too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great.
UF is a great place to win adult entertainment merch. We gave away
a dildo, didn't we?
I believe it was at UF 6. We did. We gave away a dildo and a gift card to
I don't know.
To one of our sponsors was an adult store there in the Bay Area. We gave away some sex toys and a gift card.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I remember the dude that won that sex toy.
Patrick, our friend Patrick.
That's
Oakland.
what it was.
Yeah. Because we paired that giveaway. We showed Safe Word that year, the Koji Shiraishi movie.
Have you seen that movie?
It's like a softcore porn movie.
Oof, that movie is.
You should watch it. It's a mockumentary set within like the kink adult entertainment.
It's very kinky,
the kink sector of the adult entertainment industry.
So gross.
Yeah. It's a great. It's a phenomenal. It's a phenomenal movie. It's my review on Letterboxd says it's equivalent to listening to the Beatles sing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" in terms of how it makes you feel. Way more piss play though.
Oh, it's a lot of wow. And it was so gross. Remember me? I was so animated in that theater. People were laughing at me because I didn't know what the hell I was expecting with this movie. And when I seen I don't know. It's good though. It's a good movie. I liked it, but it's
all right. Sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on VOD now in the States, which is not a common thing for his movies. So definitely support it and check it out. And maybe we'll get listeners do the same thing, you know, and maybe we'll get his stuff to come stateside more often, and I won't have to go find fan subbed versions on the internet, you know?
Okay. Also, you mentioned, I don't know if I talked to you or asked you if your scene ever popped up. Remember Cuddly Toys, Kansas Bowling? I think, didn't you have a part in that? Did that get shown? I never asked I don't remember seeing, what part was it?
Yeah, you're in the funeral, right?
Yeah, I'm in the funeral scene.
Okay, perfect. Yes, because I remember you mentioned it. You're like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be in this. And I was like, really? Because you mentioned, remember that? And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to look for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had been waiting years to see that movie because we shot that in LA it took Kansas, quite a while to shoot that because she shot it sort of like in different parts of the country, and she shot all of it on 16 millimeter. And so it was a pretty big undertaking, and we shot that scene in LA, and I was I'm just a background extra in it, but I didn't know if I was going to make the cut or not. And so I was happy that she gave me a close-up. Even it's just like my big old face for a second.
Yeah, it was cool seeing you in that when we were screening it. I was like, hey, that's Paul.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And that was actually I ended up sort of like introducing Kansas to like Anthony Cousins and Rebecca.
Oh, okay. Great. They're awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kansas and Don were both awesome. I love it.
It was really great to finally be able to see the film. I love that movie, Cuddly Toys.
Me too.
For me, I think that was easily one of the highlights of the festival. The look of it and what she did with it, it's not easy to watch, but like the way that she put it together, the way she framed it, I think she's such a talented filmmaker.
I think her
Sierra
was my
Sierra
favorite.
is actually in her next one as well, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, what's the next one? Or can you
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything. I should probably
get you in trouble.
Yeah. But it's also shot on 16. Sierra showed me a few stills that Kansas had sent her, and it looks gorgeous.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I can't wait for that one to come out as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they've done stuff together before, like Swamp Woman Kissing Booth, and is Sierra in the Jared Masters movie with Parker? I can't remember if she was in that or not. I thought she was. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, she's in that. She's in Swamp Women Kissing Booth, which is an amazing short film.
That's a title.
Yeah, I think you can find
what is that about? Swamp Women Kissing Booth?
It's about swamp women who have a kissing booth.
Okay.
It's like 15 minutes or something. I think that if you just search for it, it'll pop up as such a cute little movie.
It's on like YouTube or Vimeo or one of those. I found it.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Dressed up like creatures of the Black Lagoons or something. What they look like?
Yeah, you got to watch it, Terrell. They're dressed up like hillbilly girls. It's really cute.
Oh god, it's honky tonk. Oh my god.
It's honky tonk.
Yeah, it's honky tonk, as Terrell would call it. There we go.
Honky tonk. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, please do. It was directed by Tori Pope is her name. She did a really great job on it. But Kansas and her sister Parker in it, Sierra's in it. My friend Natasha is in it. There's a bunch of great people in it.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember. Is it? I think the Jared Masters movie I mentioned is Absolute Vow. For anybody listening,
Absolute Vow. Yeah,
that. I think that's the name of it. Yeah. I haven't seen that one. I just know that I just remember seeing her name in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's streaming or not.
Probably too.
I'm not sure about that one.
His stuff is usually on. I'll confirm for the listeners at home. Where they can watch Absolute Vow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, look that up.
Stroma now and Tubi, Plex.
Okay, cool.
It is. Those. Oh, okay. Okay, that's on Tubi. Yeah, Paul, what else is going on with you? I know we were talking your ear off here, but I'm glad you're on. I'm glad you decided to join us.
I appreciate it very much. No, I kind of just wrapped up Ghost Girls, the edit for Ghost Girls, and I sent that up to Chicago to get colored, and we're working on the sound and finishing everything up right now. And I don't know, you guys. I don't really do anything outside of movies. It's just movies,
That's
movies,
it?
movies, 24/7.
Got you. Okay.
I love it. Dedication to the craft.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
I went to see Twisters last night.
Oh, what'd you think?
Okay.
I thought it was actually really fun.
It was
like
great.
kind of a throwback, old
Yes.
school action movie.
Yeah, and I saw it in 40X, and I felt like I was in the fucking, and I was in the end seat. The thing was going up and down, and there was like air and water going on me. That was an experience. It made, I don't know how, I'm sure I would have liked it without the 40X, but it really amplified my review of that movie.
I feel like,
it was
that's
good.
the perfect movie to see it with that format.
Yeah,
you
all
know?
the reviews were like, you have to see it in 40X. Do you know what 40X
Air
is?
and water?
Yeah, there was air coming in. There was like water sprinkling when it was raining and stuff. The water would hit
Wow.
you. Like that beginning scene, when they were
So
chasing the
cool.
thing, and then I don't want
Yeah.
well, who cares? Yeah, I was going to spoil it. But anyway, it was just going crazy. And every time, like the part where the car would go down to the ground and they would be right under the hurricane and stuff, you would feel all that. And the seats would go up and down and jumble. It was great. It was like, whoa.
Wow.
It was so bad that I had a shot of tequila in my pocket and my Beats headphones, and I lost them because they fell out into somewhere because it was moving so much. I fell out my pocket.
Oh no!
It was
Did
like
you
a roller
find them
coaster.
after the screening, or do you still not have those things?
I still don't have those, but the tequila, who cares?
Oh,
I was
shit.
bummed about my headphones.
The headphones,
It is what it
that's
is.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
They're in my pocket, and they must have fell out because of all the rigmarole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another victim to the Twisters.
Yes.
that's right. That's right.
That movie was really good.
Part of the experience.
Yeah. I liked
Yeah,
it.
I had fun. We have a drive-in theater here not too far away here in central Illinois. I think I'm going to pop out there. They're showing Twister and Twisters
Perfect way
next
to
month.
see those.
So I
Double
might,
bill?
see if I can find somebody with a pickup truck and go out there.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
watch
perfect.
a drive-in get blown away on the screen of a drive-in. That seems pretty sick.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the one thing I'll say, Terrell, is that I felt like my theater last night, the volume wasn't up loud enough, and I didn't feel immersed enough. So I feel like I need a little bit more immersive experience.
Yeah, that might do it. It was fun. Did you check out? Are you into superhero movies? Did you watch Deadpool? Or are you gonna watch Deadpool?
No.
You're not into. Okay, so no. That movie was funny. I was gonna say that movie had me rolling, but yeah,
That's one thing that I've never really gotten into. I saw like Ant-Man. I saw I think 2 of the Thor movies, and that's about it.
oh, okay. The Thor ones. You watched some
You've seen about as many MCU as me.
The comedic.
Well, I'm a
one?
big Natalie Portman fan, so I usually check out anything she's in.
When she became yeah, she had better roles than that. But yeah, I like Closer. What else did she play in? The Professional. That's the old one. That was good. Natalie Portman.
Yeah, that's what
Black Swan.
State.
Black Swan. That's where she won her Oscar.
Annihilation.
She's been in tons of great stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear my Natalie Portman story real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, absolutely. For sure we do.
Uh-oh.
So
Is it a Be My Cat
150 years
situation?
ago, it's no, it's fine. It's
I love that he starts a story about somebody who's like probably in her 40s now, maybe. 50s
me and Natalie
at
are
most,
about the
maybe.
same age. She's
you-
maybe
And you started with 150 years ago.
it was a long time ago. This is unfortunately, it was such a formative experience for me. I know the exact date. It was May 3rd, 1999,
Oh.
New York City. I was living in New York at the time, and I was at a concert. I was by myself. It's hard to make friends in New York City. There's a bunch of people there, but it's actually really hard to make friends.
Yeah.
Especially before social media. So I'm there. I'm kind of sad about, I couldn't get anybody to go to this concert with me. And I'm kind of wandering around, and I go up to the balcony area, and I'm watching the show, and there's this girl standing in front of me, and I happen to glance down, and I notice that she had a cute butt. Okay, I'm checking out her butt. And okay, cute butt.
Yeah.
She turns around. It's Natalie. And
Oh shit!
and
Wow.
I mean, like 2 feet from me.
Yeah.
And it was like somebody dumped a bucket of ice water on my head. I was frozen
my God.
with fear. And this is May 1999. So this is actually the same day that the action figures for Star Wars Episode 1 had come
she was
out.
Padma, whatever.
Padme.
Yeah, Padme. Yeah.
Queen Amidala.
Oh, there you go.
And so very foolishly, I tried to tap her on the shoulder.
Oh my God.
And somebody pulled my hand back because I didn't realize that there was a velvet rope separating us. She was in the VIP area.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Sorry, I wasn't trying to do anything. I just wanted to let her know that I bought her action figure.
Oh,
so I wait, I bide my time, and she decides that she's going to leave before the encore. She's going to peace out so she can, beat the crowd.
Okay.
And as she's leaving, she walks past me, and I say, hey, Natalie, I just want to say I'm a really big fan. And she's, oh, thank you. And I said, yeah, I actually bought 2 of your action figures earlier today. And the look on her face, the look she gave me was a mixture of horror and, because probably no one had ever told her that before.
I was like, she gonna be so weirded out by you, Paul.
Yeah. But she said, she was like, oh, thank you. And like quickly walked past me. And as she's walking past me, I hear her laughing her ass off. Like, who the fuck was that?
One of the first things you said to her is, I bought your action figure.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I'm
Stupid.
So dead. Oh my God. I bet you have nightmares about that situation, don't you? I would.
I just hope I get another chance to talk to her at some point so that I can kind of tell her, that we had that interaction years ago. One day.
The funniest thing about this is that she's probably had interactions with countless people, but I feel like that was 1,000 times more memorable.
She's gonna
she probably still remembers that dude who said he bought her action figures.
Especially since she walked off laughing. That's the situation she's gonna remember.
Right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
She told that story to somebody.
I read an article maybe 6 months later where she was talking about how freaked out she is about the fact that she has action figures, that it's just sort of a weird thing to have this little avatar of yourself.
Yeah, she got Barbie dolls too. Didn't they have Barbie dolls for Star Wars?
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But I imagine, because that was literally the day the action figures came out for her first Star Wars movie, so I had to have been the first person to ever tell her that.
Yeah, you probably
And so
were.
she's like, get this guy away from me.
So you started her fear of people touching on her itty bits and her toys. Her cute little booty.
Incredible.
I'm sorry, Natalie. I'm sorry about that.
If she ever listened to this is Paul.
Yeah, shout out to Natalie Portman, avid Footage Foreplay fan.
Call me.
He's like, that was great. What concert was it? Do you remember that? Curious.
Yes, it was. It was for bands that were not like popular, but they were big sort of underground bands in the 90s. It was for a band. If Natalie's watching, she'll know. This is how she'll know, because she'll remember. It was for Gus Gus and Estero.
Okay.
So there you go, Natalie. Do you remember that night at the Irving Plaza in New York?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Do they still have the misconnections on Craigslist?
Oh, should I get on there and type one out for Natalie Portman?
Oh man,
I'm sure she's on there all the time.
I'm sorry. That's one of the best stories I heard on this show.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm happy that I met her. Even if it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, at least I got to meet her.
That's once in a lifetime. I mean,
yeah,
you can say that they scared Natalie Portman. I mean,
I love it.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Well, this was fun, Paul. I'm so glad you're going to join us and talk about your movies. I'm excited for Ghost Girls. Let us know, because we'll be happy to go turn that up for you and on a future episode. But yeah, keep in touch. I can't wait for that Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to where people can follow you
come back to us?
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we'll come back at some point, and in the meantime, if folks want to keep up with us and updates for the Blu-ray and everything that we have going on, just follow our Instagram. It's the name of our movie company, which is Into the Night Motion Pictures. So you can search for Into the Night Motion Pictures on Instagram or on Facebook. Our handle on Instagram is Into the Night MP Motion Pictures.
Hey, perfect.
Cool.
No, yeah, I'm excited. This was a great interview. I had fun talking to you and meeting you at UF. So I do hope you come back next year. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Too on September 13th, we got a virtual.
Yep.
So you come.
Yeah, I keep telling Madeline that I want to do something, and I have a short film that I sent her, so I'm hoping that'll play at the virtual fest.
That's perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
We're excited about that. Then I look forward to checking that out. We haven't seen that one yet, but I'm excited for that. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks, Paul, for coming and hanging out with us, dude. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything you do, and hope to be out in San Francisco pretty soon.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time. All right.
Thanks for listening to Footage Foreplay. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review, sharing it with a friend, or simply hitting like. These small gestures are a great free way to support this mayhem, and if you find some footage we should be fondling, email us at footageforeplay@gmail.com. Check back every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes, and remember, don't skip the foreplay.